Hi guys, today we're going to do a bit of a unique unboxing. We're going to look at Stalingrad, Advance to the Volga, 1942, a Solitaire Area Movement Series, Volume 1. Now this is a new game. It will be coming out most likely second quarter of 2023. This is from Revolution Games. And I don't have the designer's name off the top of my head. Here we go. Michael Rinella, developer Roger Miller, and maps and counters by Charles Kibler. We're going to take a look at the contents of this. Now, keep in mind this is a playtest copy of the game. I was fortunate enough to meet the people at Revolution Games at the SD Histicon, and they allowed me to take this puppy home to play, learn, and do a little bit of content on. And so we're going to start with an unboxing. Let's start with the rule book. Now the rule book is currently, obviously, playtest. Take a look inside here. So first off, 2-column, nice size font, easy to read. Nice colors for the inside the rule book, deal with the counters and such. Here's your setup. Setup in this game is pretty straightforward. Sequence of play. Some of the rules. We're on page 6. Okay. Page 8 gets us to the victory conditions. So you start in the beginning. Really, once you got 7 pages of rules. Okay, I lied. You get some optional rules. That's the first time I've actually seen Pavlov's house. Interesting. Wonder how much of that was actually war damage. This is from a 1968 postcard. Cool photograph. Anyway, I digress. Here's an example of play. Game actually plays fairly simple. And here's a second scenario. So there's 2 scenarios in the game. One is a longer scenario that lasts 9 turns, and then the shorter one lasts 5. Some information here about that particular scenario, some unique rules. And we get into some history, a little bit on game strategy. I always love when companies give us a little bit of history. Obviously, it's why we love playing these games. And some strategy in behind how things work. And then a very nice index and glossary. That's page 14, page 15. Again, and some of the counters. So you can keep track if you've lost something, you can go through and pick it out, which is very nice, by the way. I wish more games had something along these lines. Kind of a checkbox, checklist. Oh, looks like I got a page out of sequence. That happens when you have a loose leaf. Slide that right back in there. And you can see underneath, obviously, is the map, but we'll get to the map last. And I will be putting out a gameplay video after a week or so. I want to really dig in and play. The box cover. Now again, because this is a playtest version, all this stuff is subject to change. Okay? So here's player aid card. This is a playtest version, obviously. It's double-sided and taped to a piece of cardboard, but this is what you're going to get in the game. It's got your sequence of play. There's a random event chart, your reinforcements, what you do through combat phase, combat resolution, and how to resolve your combat. Very nice, all on one page. Here you get into supply costs, your setup again, initial setup, and then what some of the Russian counters do in the game. Really, this is, so far in my little playtest, this has everything on it that you need. This is nice. Now, these counters, again, are playtest, okay? You will get 6 dice, but what they did give me is kind of a front and a back. So let's take a look. Let's start on the front. So this is what the counters look like. You have a strength, a movement, and that little circle there is the starting location on the map. Okay, some counters, obviously, and this is the front side of the Russian forces, and then when you flip them over, you're going to get guards, fanatics, their strength, heroes, barrage, and I think there's ambush. And again, all of this is covered right here. Now, I won't get into how the game's played. We'll get into that during the playthrough. So, beautiful looking. And then obviously, those are down in here. So, that's it for a quick, oh, I almost forgot the map. So guys, let's take a quick look at the map. Nice, you do get one 17 by 22 mounted map in the game. One sheet of the counters, which we looked at. The rule book, and then 8 six-sided dice, 4 red, 4 black. Nice. So, here we have the map. Let's zoom in a little bit. So it is an area control, as they say, or area movement type of map. Obviously area control too. So these are the starting locations for the Germans. There's a few other on the top of the map. And then what you do is you take some of the Russian counters, you flip them, and there's more than what you need for any one particular type of area. So each time you play, you're not going to necessarily get the same mix of challenges that you're going to get in each of these locations. And so you've got these hexagons, which are heavy urban. You have squares, which are light urban. You have circles, which are clear, and yeah, and the Great Russian Cat. Okay. Okay, Cab. And let me move her out of the way. Okay, so let me slide, step off, little girl. Let me slide the map over with the cat on it. So, pardon the movement of the camera here. So what you have here, let's slide this down just a little. So you have a box up here for your unused support units. So you'll put your counters in there. You have your turn track here for your first scenario. Second scenario is kind of the second attempt the Germans made to occupy Stalingrad. Well, they occupied it, but to overtake Stalingrad. Here's your sequence of play. You have a morale track. It starts at 19, goes down to 0, except it's a little lower in the second scenario. Again, we'll get into the details later. Here's your supply cost, and then out of action and available for support. So you have unused support up here. You roll for support, 3 six-sided dice. You then buy support, put it into your available units, And then during your turn, you can allocate those into the different areas as you're attacking. Again, I'm not going to get too much into the rules. Just kind of give you what's laid out here. This is to keep track of your supplies and a few other things. And then again, you got a morale track. So, nice looking map. Looks like a, they tried to make it look like a real map. So, like I said, guys, just a quick unboxing. We will have a playthrough up. I'm going to play this a few more times so I get the rules down solid. Because this is a pre-release review of a game, I don't want to be making any mistakes. But look on the channel for the playthrough. And as always, I appreciate you taking time to check out what we do here on the channel. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Goodbye for now.